So great. We'll get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Paul Bear, and this is our weekly or monthly Get Organized event for this initiative called AI Blueprint for Massachusetts. And I'll go through a few ground rules, and then we've got a whole bunch of updates. And one of the things I'm doing right now is admitting the human participants, but also many of you know we have robots everywhere in our life. So the robot note takers also send me an invitation to admit them as well. So we continue to see ourselves moving in a world where robots are going to be everywhere. They're going to be our co-intelligence, our co-partners, and this meeting is no exception. A few things, if you haven't done already, let me put in the chat the link. If you don't mind signing in, that would be great. Networking is a really important part of this. I've got just a few kind of ground rules. I'm going to say ground rules, but things to remind everyone here. So this is a nonprofit, it's 100% volunteer. Please no soliciting a business. Welcome to ask for comments about your startup and your vendor on the chat list. We are absolutely not a lobbying group. We've got contacted by lots of different people to influence or get involved with the spending of the government's investment in AI. We have nothing to do with that. We're just supportive of it and amplifying it and trying to do what we can on the convenience side here. This meeting goes quickly. We have a lot of different things. So this project is about, our mission is to attract, retain, and grow AI talent. Grow means both within companies and in our schools. And AI talent means people who are using AI in a variety of different tasks, not solely engineers who are working on large language models, for instance, here. So it's both teaching AI and product managers and sales and everything else. We've done a really good job of kind of defining our personas. And if you haven't seen that, take a look at that. But one of the personas we talk about are students. The 150 universities in our area is one of the real big strengths. And do we have any current students by chance on the call? Hopefully they're at school. I guess it's still probably getting ready for exams. But we do like having some of them share what they have, their needs are, and what that's excited about them for things here. One of the things that comes up again and again and again is that, oh, I'm a student Northeastern or somewhere. I don't know where to tap into the AI ecosystem. Is there an AI ecosystem? And so that kind of starter page, that kind of starter area is something that we continue to hear a lot as a need. We also hear a lot of people who are at companies who are maybe individual contributors are very enthusiastic about driving more awareness of AI and projects in their own company. I'm not quite sure how to network with others. So that's important part of what we see our mission is as well. We focus on practical and tactical group. This is not a thinking or talking group. This is a doing group. So we encourage people to come up with mini projects that we'll start going through here shortly here. And these are small things that can get done in 2 to 3 months. And then you get something done. That's your brick. You put it on the wall. You feel good about it. You step back, give yourself a pat on the back. You help someone else, you can go back. So it's not this massive long-term thing. We want to keep making progress every single month. And we've done a great job of moving forward to that. And now we'll start going through different updates. So I think the first big news is, is the task force. Now, Rory, I know Rory sent me an email. He's not here. Is Tom here from Mass? Who's from the task force here? So the bill passed. So that's exciting news. John, do you have an update or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a gathering next
Tuesday,
week.
right?
Yeah, and I have the invite. But you know, the governor's really excited about securing the funds. I helped coordinate a NBC News is coming out with a piece on it. I could tell you, yeah, no, big things are happening.
So I think it's one thing really exciting about it. It's gone from press release in February to signed bill in 10 months later here. So I don't know if that's the fastest kind of idea to sign bill in the country or in the world, but it's going to be right up there. We've certainly seen a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
other.
my guess is with the federal elections, the governor got the House and the Senate back to get this funding, just anticipating some challenges there.
It's really great. So I think New York has announced a 400 million initiative, but I'm not sure if that's signed or actually New Jersey, Princeton has announced something. I'm not sure if that thing is in California. So super exciting here. Rory did send me a email this morning here. So the AI task force was working on $100 million appropriations, and that is part of this larger Mass Leads Act. And that's what just got signed. And my understanding is that the funds are going to be distributed through was it Mass Technology
Yeah,
TLC?
Pat Larkin's operation.
Yes, yeah. And they're still working on progress here. So congrats on everybody and for that. That's really exciting. Um, Museum of Science is one of our wonderful institutions. And Christina, you've got some colleagues and updates there, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Can we just confirm that Meg Rosenberg is on?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Hi, Meg. Great. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Everybody, Meg was kind enough to carve out some time and join us today. Meg leads up the Museum Centers for Public Service Learning, and has been a great partner so far in thinking through and connecting AI Blueprint community into opportunities. This includes a couple of events coming up, such as the Computer Science Weekend coming up next week. I know AI Create is participating in that, which is exciting, and also the creation of some subspace and adult content events, such as for Chillwall and others. So I'm going to hand it over to Meg for a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about the museum and maybe spark some additional ideas of how we might be able to collaborate and support each other's mission. So Meg, take it away.
Sure. Thanks. I'll share my screen if that's all right. I have a few slides just to give an overview of how the museum is thinking about this as a topic area and for our audiences and for ourselves as well. Let me just get to the beginning of my presentation. As Christine said, I'm representing a department at the museum. Whoopsies, hold on. Let me try that again. A department at the museum called the Centers for Public Science Learning. Okay, now you're seeing my PowerPoint, right? Good. Which is a fairly new division. It's very focused on current science. And the idea behind that is the museum is really a common ground between a lot of different types of community sectors. We've talked with a lot of folks. We're very fortunate in the Boston area to have this rich intellectual capital all around us in terms of academia and government and industry and public, and to bring those groups together in ways where we can help each other in exciting new ways. So we have 3 existing centers at the moment around different topic areas. They're life sciences, the environment, and space. We don't currently have an artificial intelligence center, but data science and AI is very much top of mind in a lot of the things that we do. And so we're kind of cultivating that topic area as a 4th center. That's just not manifested into existence quite yet in the same way. But to that end, we have a lot of programming and things on the floor, which I'll talk about in a second, that relate to data science and AI in various ways. So this is just a snapshot of some of the past year or so of some of the programs that we've put together. This could be anything from a guest scientist on the stage, which we do all the time. And if there's any interest in that from anyone here, we could talk about whether there might be opportunities to come to the museum and speak directly to the public in that way. Anything from a public talk like that to we had a dance group come in and start to workshop a piece that is inspired by artificial intelligence on the floor, and they're going to come back later in the year. I'll flip to the next one in the spring next year with what they've worked on since that time, and they were developing that in the halls. As Christine mentioned, we have an annual computer science education weekend every year in December. And this year, AI Create is going to join us for some of our table activities. So thank you for making that connection. And actually tomorrow, December 7th, we have our first ever career fair event, and it's focused on green tech sector types of career landscapes. But we're very fortunate. I saw Javid was on the call. He's going to join us and talk with visitors about the hackathon work that he's been doing. So thank you for that connection as well. I'll just say really briefly, we have a permanent exhibit called Exploring AI at the moment. It was opened in September of 2023, and we've made some changes to it. So this photo is not entirely accurate, and we're continuing to refresh it, and I'll talk a little more about some thoughts for next year. But we try to give everyone an overview. Our visitorship at the museum is extremely broad. We have a large family audience component to this. So in a lot of cases, this might be somebody's first approach to understanding what AI is, or where it comes into their lives. So we have a couple of interactive activities that are meant to explore how training data can be, how important it is to curate the data set and have it as diverse and wide a data set as possible. We have one example that's using birds, where you can choose 3 different data sets and see the effects on identifying whether there's a bird in the photo or not. And there's a very similar activity, but using auditory inputs instead, using dogs and dogs barking, because we have visitors of all kinds. Some are low vision and some are deaf or hard of hearing. And so we always look for multiple modes to get the ideas across. And in this case, it's sort of the same concept, but 2 different interactives. Right. This dance piece is actually no longer on the floor. We switched it out with our live. There's an interactive activity now that you can use DALL-E to use your whole body to select words in a prompt, and then it'll generate a unique image for you. And we also have a relationship with Boston Dynamics, and we have one of their Spot robots on display full time. Around the time that the exhibit opened, the months leading up to that, we did an initiative focused on AI and developed a lot of an interactive, these infographics, and a lot of programming. This was an interactive game where you could find everything in the room that had something to do with AI, really focused on high school students. And we did a lot of programming on the stages and in our high school science series as well. I'm just going to take you through a couple of overview things about how we're thinking about the content space, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. And to be honest, this is actually kind of open for feedback. So if you have any thoughts on areas that might be covered, or how we might be thinking about this, I'd love to talk to any of you further about it, and make sure we're not missing something that's really important to convey to our visitors. So thinking about like content verticals, different areas that would be important to be sort of fielding for the public in order to be able to digest these things, but also these through lines that I'm popping up at the bottom to think about where are the points of intersection between all of these, and are we serving our public in touching upon each of those intersections when we're thinking about the kinds of offerings that we're putting out for them.
Meg, this is just wonderful. Do you, Meg, other than feedback, how else can the group help?
That's a great question. I'd be happy to send this around afterwards, to let people sort of look at it, asynchronously and with more time. And if there's any, I can give my contact information in the sign-up sheet as well. I mean, I'd just be really open to hearing your thoughts on the museum's role, to be honest. Also, I think we feel that we have a responsibility in a lot of ways to demystify topics that, touch are so relevant to people's lives, like all of the ways that AI touches people's lives, and would just really welcome your perspectives on what more we could be doing in our space.
That's been great. I know things we talked about before, a couple different things. One, how globally unique the Museum of Science is, how it sits on the river and connects two cities, how part of the mission is to being a convener of this stuff. We've also seen such a critical role in the education aspect here. So we talked a lot about all the students coming in here. One of the things we talked a lot about is, why do people stay? And one of the things for 6 or 8 months here, when we find someone in AI, we're like, what are you doing in Boston here? You're supposed to go to San Francisco. Are you out of your mind? Why are you staying? And Meg, so often they say, because of the education, because of the kids, because of institutions like this. So I think it's a really important part of the overall ecosystem. And for people who haven't been back to museum assignments, I went back 6 months ago, first time in like 15 years. It is stunning. It is so different than what it was there 20 years ago when my kids were young. So if you haven't gone there, I really encourage you to do it. And maybe one time, Christina, Meg, we have even this group go there. Well, I know you guys have a lot of meeting rooms there, but really exciting, and appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think it'd
say,
be a great follow-up
oh, go ahead.
to go, and then maybe even have a brainstorming session with those who are interested or who have additional ideas. But in the meantime, please feel free to email Meg, or you can filter them through me if that's easy. How we can figure out what that process is, so Meg's inbox isn't overwhelmed. And I want to thank also Debbie and Kara as well for being great partners and helping with this relationship as well.
It's fantastic. So let's keep
Sounds
driving.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
just say, Paul, real quick, if you think the museum is stunning now, just come back in 2026 when we open our public science common. Then you will be amazed. And there is information on the website about, if you're curious about the architectural, how that beautiful expression is going to be on the river there, you can see it on the website if you're one of those nerds who like the blueprint walkthroughs and things. So
That's great, Cara. Thank you.
thank you.
So keep driving. Give them another 15 updates, dude. So John Warner, you want to get an update on all the great stuff happening?
Sure. Can you give me slide access? Yeah. All right. Okay, you guys, we had about 1,500 people come to Planet Action last week. This is all about scalable ideas for sustainability, and I think AI is going to play a big role of it. We had 75 speakers, all at CSAIL, and we did TED Talks, Forbes Talks, and IEEE Talks in Stata. And then we had an opening reception at the MIT Museum. Amanda Palmer performed. It was a great way. Just another example, museum stepping up. And then on the third day, this was our Y Combinator Day. We took over the New England Aquarium Theater, and we had updates from the past 2 years. And AI, I say all along, for some of these sustainability ideas, are going to help refine them and grow them. We capped it off with astronaut who's traveled 98 million miles, Katie Coleman. And then the head of the London Stock Exchange kind of gave some perspective on how we could create the Allen and Company for climate, people are looking for things to scale, and AI can play a big role in it. And I don't hear people talking about climate and AI in the same sentence. This Saturday, tomorrow, from 2:15 to 5:30, is TEDx MIT. This happens at the end of each semester. It's a free event. You all are welcome. The theme is energy efficient computing. Debbie Douglas from the MIT Museum is going to bring out some artifacts and talk about it. But we have some of the leading MIT people talking about the future of servers and data and data centers and energy. So do come to that. And then at the Quinn, we have a reception for the speakers later in the night. Then on Tuesday, every month I do 90 minutes of innovation. Going to have a lot of AI themes. Tamer's going to talk about the history of chess and how it relates to AI. Tejas used to be at DeepMind, has his own startup. Ed Baker, the head of growth at Facebook and Growth International, or head of growth at Uber and head of growth international for Facebook, is going to be talking about what AI means for the head of growth. Commonwealth Fusion, a lot of great things. Then I'm going to do an event probably the Wednesday of the second week in in January at the New England Aquarium in their Simon's Theater. They have this big IMAX type theater, and I'm going to give an update on Imagination Action AI, and I'm going to share some of my photography. The room holds 400. You all are welcome, and love to kind of use it as an action dialogue to kind of map some things out. Love Blueprint to be there. Then Davos is coming up. Paul's been really helpful on that. I'm going to give a few updates on Imagination Action Davos. Curating a science dinner on the 28th, curating a AI talk in New York City, if anyone knows someone who wants to give a really prominent AI talk. And then April 15th, Forging the Future of Business at the Media Lab, put that on your calendar. And then TEDx second semester is going to be at the new music building, and the theme is going to be superpowers. I'm taking suggestions for that. And then the MIT AI Venture course. Yesterday, we just had 24 projects pitched. We're probably going to have another 24. Haven't decided. It's a Thursday in April, third Thursday. And then, as always, the academic event will be in June. And then in terms of Davos, things are really coming along. This is the Dome. Here I am with the 54 sweater the year before AI was formed. It was coined by Minsky and McCarthy. Jan LeCun is back. It's going to be great. This is the Dome. We're going to do recording throughout the venue. We have these touch screens. We have social cards we have about 150 speakers. Sally, the president of MIT, is going to be speaking. We're going to have David Rubenstein interview her. We have a great tech panel with Jan LeCun, Yosha Benja, Stuart Russell, Daniela Roos. Will.i.am is coming back. This is just a sampling. For those who aren't familiar, the Congress Hall is right here, and maybe 500 yards is the Dome that I'm programming. And I see this as a place where a lot of the leading stuff in MIT and the leading stuff in Massachusetts can fly over to Zurich, take a train to Davos, and I'll put your name on the list. I can hold about 1,000 people throughout the day, and I want to really make a statement. And we're getting some great people. There's a 2,500 person white badge list. These are companies that pay $500,000 to be WEF members. We're inviting them, and this is a way that if some of you have some big ideas, it should be on a global audience. We can get it out there. Paul, as always, thanks for your support, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And any of you want to get involved and help, thank you. And if any of you have ideas, I'm open.
That's great. Thanks, John. And for people who don't know John Warner, he's an institution itself. So this region, we have great things like Museum of Science at MIT and wonderful people like John that just do incredible programming that is really differentiates our region. And it's part of the overall strategy of keeping us unique here. Let's keep rolling here. Oops, hang on here. So Nadia,
I'm here. Hey, Paul.
hi. Think you want to give an update on this and tell us what the
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Nayla Daly from Mass TLC, Senior Director of Programs. And I just wanted to share with you all that, and for those who do not know Mass TLC, we are the region's tech council. We have an award program called the Tech Top 50. It's been around 20 years plus, where we celebrate 50 of the region's best tech companies, leaders, innovations. Nominations are open now until December 20. If you check it out, and you're interested to nominate, I will extend it for you if you need some time. So like I said, they are open. We have categories for Startup of the Year, different exec titles, and different tech, different ways you're using tech. So I will drop the link in the chat to see if you want to check it out and submit a nomination. This does culminate in an event in March where we will celebrate the winners and everyone comes together, and it's just a very joyous event. So thank you.
So the ask for the group is to submit nominations?
This is the it's the Mass TLC Tech Top 50 Awards that our organization hosts.
Perfect. Thank you. We're going to keep rolling here. Katie, are you on, or Amanda?
Yes, hi, this is Katie Manti. I've had a lot of success from the 90-second video. I hope Paul Burke is on. I've had a number of people weigh in, and we've actually been using some of the tools to generate some 90-second videos. You know, what can we do for free? So Paul, if you're on.
Sure. We've had a great discussions and made some really great progress. So when we met, we really decided to focus on three things: connection, innovation, and access. And through that, what we're doing is leveraging using AI to generate the commercial in addition to ideation, storyboarding, and we've written an extensive prompt that actually will go through and builds out the narrative, the different scenes, but then the prompts for each scene from an image and a video perspective. If anyone wants to see that, I know Katie said she's going to put it in a public location, and you can actually see how it will build out the storyboard, the narratives, and then let us iterate on those. We've had some really great successes with it. The next steps are we're going to refine our storyboard, hopefully review the storyboard with a larger audience, and we'll seek feedback for that when we do that, and then we'll stitch it together. The ask is we're eventually going to need licensing as we're burning through credits fast. So if someone has, a license that they want to share with us regarding whether it be Midjourney or especially runway.ml or any of their video services, as we start to pull this together, that would be helpful.
And Paul, can they just send money instead, or what?
Well, I'll figure that out. So literally, we're talking a couple $100. I mean, it best. So,
yeah.
But it's getting the licensing in you can work with Katie on how we figure that out. We just need a couple accounts. We can go in there and burn through this. But we have some great stuff we've pulled together. We've just burned through all our credits.
That's great. But yeah, well, Katie or Paul, if you just send me an email, I've got some people that want to give some small money to small projects. And this is exactly the type of stuff they would do.
All right, that sounds good. And I think, Paul, I'll need to figure out where I can upload some of these videos and drafts. I did try to upload something and it denied me. So I just want to share the the videos that we're making and the script that Paul's talking about. So from a feedback standpoint, it'd be great. We'll look for some students. I don't know if there's any students on the call, but it'd be great to see, since we're gearing the video towards the students, it'd be great to get some initial customer feedback, if you will.
Katie, one thing, we have 700 people on the email list now. So if you've got a specific ask on feedback and, form or Google form or something, send it to me and I'll send it to the whole list.
I'll do that.
Exciting. And for the rest of people on the thing who aren't familiar with this project, this is to create basically a commercial video that we can show every one of the students who come through our region. One view is if you come to Northeastern and Tufts and spend 4 years here, you should at least be aware of all the wonderful things in this area and leadership around Museum of Science and John Warner and MIT and others on AI. And so often when we talk to students, they aren't aware of it. So really exciting, Paul and Katie. Any other updates or things? Ask. Perfect.
Thank you. Sounds
Great.
good.
We a few other things. We've got a slightly polish to the website, so that's getting a little more. Again, we have a Slack group, so for people who don't know, send me an email or someone else, and they can put you Slack. We have about 200 people on the Slack, so that's another way to kind of keep going here. Playbooks, Adam or Beth, you guys on?
Yeah, Essie's calling in. Essie, I think you get the distance award, right, from Vienna, but she's got a good update for us.
All right, go ahead, Essie.
Yeah, I'll just put so there is a presentation that we have done as a baseline for personas that we intend to, yes, that's it. Thanks, Paul. And the main persona that we were gonna take was a business owner who would like to situate in Massachusetts and doesn't know his way or her way around, and our deck would give the guidelines on how to establish and how to attract to begin with. Dana has worked, I think, with Karen Peterson. She met Dana Vicky on messaging and positioning deck, and I believe this aligns with that persona, but at the same time, the second main persona is a student, which I think the 90-minute video is similar concept in the way that it starts with the attraction, but we did not change this baseline based on the two personas. And Paul, I guess I shared with you like 2 or 3 meetings ago. And we're still expecting, I mean, we still welcome comments from anyone who can spare some time to make it better or to customize it according to these two personas.
That's really great. What's asked? Well, how can people help?
Well, right now, I think Dana is leading the messaging and positioning. And so the first persona on that business owner would be something that you can look at and provide the comments. The draft is not ready. I mean, as far as I know, it's Dana's document. But then also for this playbook, which serves as a baseline, I mean, right now the information might be old even after 2 months. So we'll really, really appreciate your comments. Adam,
That's
do you want
great.
to add anything?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, so a couple things here. So I really want to highlight that we really stress here in this group that this is a shovel group. We pick up a shovel and get stuff done. This is not a complaining group. I've been in Boston for 25 years, and I'm personally not interested in hearing that all the VC money went to San Francisco. That's why we want the VCs. All the government should be doing this. No, we can pick up a shovel. We have enough super brains in this town and talent here, and this is a great thing where, you know, government, non-government people are picking up and helping us advertise the region here. I got an email from somebody in the state team that they're hiring someone to kind of be enterprise sales for the state of Massachusetts for.
Hey, Paul, this is Naomi. That's actually me.
Oh,
and I
good.
was just chatting. If Dana, you and I connect offline, essentially Paul was about to get to, but my job, I ran sales for the Cambridge Innovation Center for the last decade, and I just joined Secretary's team about 4 weeks ago. But my job is to really help them ensure we're doing as much as we can to like start, keep, grow companies here in Massachusetts. So think of it as enterprise sales for the state. And obviously AI is like a big component here. So would love this business persona is exactly what I'm trying to develop for all the industries in which we're tackling for the economic development plan. So I would love to follow up there. And Paul and I are going to connect next week too, to see how I can help.
Yeah. So now any ask right now for the group or?
Oh, I'm still just digging in, but as much as possible, I just want to have conversations with folks. And if there's anything that you're seeing, like, I mean, I'm sure many of you have worked on the task force or worked with Secretary Howe. Like, I mean, we like just keep the feedback coming. We have to figure out how to make sure that we continue to be a leader here. And I think the state can do a lot. And a lot of it is just getting the information out.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We've got 20 minutes left, so let's keep driving. Let's see here. Playbooks. Director of College is Luke on? I know he hopefully studied, went down to graduate school here. So this is the spreadsheet he's working on that's got a list of, like many things, we continue to find things that we think exist that don't exist, that there wasn't a list of all the in-person AI events last year. There is now. We thought there was a citywide AI career fair, and Judah and others put a fabulous one on a couple months ago. We thought there was a list of all the colleges and who's the contact and what their AI club is, and there's not. And Luke has been, and some folks in his team have been working really hard on that. So if you're interested in helping, please let us know. Somebody's typing and we can hear it. So if you can go on mute, that'd be great. Retaining internet talent. Linux, I should go back to China. Is anyone else working with her on this one by chance? Okay, we'll keep going. Lots of interest on all aspects of education, both within the system, outside the system here, at the elementary level, at the middle school level, the high school level. Are there Javed or Beth or others involved in this want to share an update?
Yeah, just a quick update. I think Meg already, hey Paul, this is Javed. Meg already gave a quick update about the Museum of Science event tomorrow. So the idea is We'll do a short presentation for folks who are visiting. We're trying to tie in many things together. So there's the climate science part of the mission at the museum. There's the careers part, and then there's the AI part. So we put together this basically a hackathon notebook where a student could come in, put in the majors that they're interested in, and look for green jobs using AI, right? So you combine all the three things together, because even the definition of what is a green job, right? If you ask the average person, they might not be able to rattle off a list, but AI can, right? It can give you, here's all the jobs you might not have thought about. Like one of them is be an accountant for a energy firm, right? Or an energy auditor or something like that. And then what degree do I have to do, and so on. Just a way of interacting with the Gemini API and be able to do it yourself, rather than the idea of the presentation and the hands-on exercise is don't look for generative AI to give you answers. Instead, look for ways to help you analyze the problem and get a holistic view of how to approach and break it down. Right.
Yeah. For people don't know, we help businesses on the business side use stuff, and we've been doing it for 2 years. We've done probably a couple thousand people, training them how to use this, and we challenge ourselves every single day internally. Have you asked the robots how do we get these tools to be co-intelligences? And it is hard. It is it's our monkey brain, at least my monkey brain, continues to forget that this is the best tutor ever on any subject. It's available via audio when I'm driving around or whatnot. So I think this whole notion of how we can use AIs and co-intelligence help our kids have a tutor, how we can do it for ourselves, is just a really important personal change management issue that we're all struggling with. You agree?
Right, and then there's the democratization of access to the real AI tools, right? So there's a lot of, in the industry, we are seen as users and sort of the use the front end. The democratization part is how can we get all of us get access to the APIs and the sort of the back end of it, so we can manipulate AI as much as successfully as it is able to manipulate us, right?
And people haven't seen, I've probably seen it now. Students are coming in, taking their laptops. They're having the whole lecture being transformed, and they're asking AI to create 30 different Quizlet tests on it. They're taking the PDFs, PowerPoints that the lecturers are using, and ask them to come up with quizzes. They're doing incredible amount of stuff to prepare and learn for this. And what I'm finding a lot is that first gap on the students, if they haven't familiar with it, they just need a little help to kind of get over with it. So we're now getting 5 to 6 requests a week now for people who are looking for AI tutors for their kids. So if that's something you're or interested in, or know people do well, let me know, because I'm not quite sure where to send them. And it's really it's exciting, and we need to empower our kids. It's really important.
So Paul, just to jump in here for a second. So I've been hitting this on a two-pronged approach, because this is an area of specialty that I'm very excited about. So one is there's an apprehension at a lot of the executive level about what this means. And so I actually have worked with executives and built out an interactive AI tutor that will guide them through their career journey in learning AI. But what's more interesting is I'm involved in the local school system and working through a different angle, which is how do we get the faculty and staff confident in understanding these technologies, and then the ability to use them instead of the strong arm that seems to be happening. So there's an engineering technical school in my community region, and I'm involved with that. I'm on the Engineering and Robotics Advisory Board, and I'm meeting regularly with the superintendent to bring this in. Next meeting is next week, where they're bringing in 10 of the staff, and we're going through how do we actually make that gap between the students are using it, but how do we get the staff and the leadership of the school district to understand how to best use it to best empower our students, so they have the skills when they leave high school to then go into the workforce and they know how to use these systems. So that's my angle, and I will report back after in the next session, but making good progress there.
And Paul, to that point, just to highlight, we're seeing all over the point is now where individuals and companies start fighting up this learning curve. They are accelerating their distance from people who aren't. So the
Yes.
leaders and early adopters are getting further ahead than the slow or no adopters. The individuals who are using this are getting further ahead. I was at one of John's dinners and sat next to a student, PhD student that uses ChatGPT 2 or 3 hours a day, and it's indispensable for his learning. And it's back and forth. So it's really part of the I think the whole education system here, because it is non-trivial how fast this stuff's moving. And it's non-trivial, at least what I'm seeing, the gap between early adopters and competence and confident users versus 99% of the rest of the world right now.
Exactly. And when we think about it, we think about we're getting knowledge from it, but also it's an interactive dialogue, and you can interact and get feedback on the way that you're interacting with it.
Yeah.
So if you're a typical way, a pattern, if people haven't played with this, is create a prompt, but when you're on a subject, when you're interacting, say, rate my responses on a scale from, say, 1 to 5, 5 an expert, 1 a novice. And then if it's not an expert level, fill in the additional areas of interest that I need to focus on in order to get to an expert level. And you can get that interactive feedback. And that's the way that I use it constantly in anything I research. So I know the right paths to go down at a very quick pace.
Really great. Good. Let's keep driving. We've got 10 more minutes. So I'm sorry, anything else on the aviation side? Do people want to share, Javed or others? Great. Event listing.
Sorry. I do have a short. Sorry, if anyone's interested in the education topic, I do have a very short deck. If you want to ping me on Slack or something, I can send it around for feedback.
I will. I reached out to you before. I didn't get feedback, but I'll send that note again.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Saul, I think you had something.
Yeah, you might have passed over the AI Tinkers update. I'm sorry, the AI Focus Grants update. Slide 10.
Apologize. Yeah, please jump in. Let me look for that slide.
Yeah, no worries. Hi everyone. I'm Sal. I'm also known as the organizer for AI Tinkers. I just want to give a very quick update. We updated the grants app that we've been working on. The purpose of this app is to connect Massachusetts-based AI startups to grant funding. Grant funding is critical for early stage startups. It helps them get to their pre-seed and seed round. So we created a search engine, and I will put the link to the search engine in the chat. We updated the UI for that, and it's running correctly. I think it should be slide number 10. Just, I don't know.
Goodness.
So.
Thank you. I knew I saw it somewhere. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that there's an update to this. It's available for everyone to use. We'd love your feedback. The next step for us is to really think through how we convert this feature into a business model and a full product. So we're thinking through that. Thank you.
And what's the biggest challenge you're finding, Sal, for people to get access to this money?
Well, it's grant funding is a really, it's transparent because all the information is publicly available. You can go to grants.gov and you can see what grants are being issued, but it's like really hard to search for. So what we've done is we've actually created a vector-based search engine against the grant.gov database. It allows people to get better search results and help find it. So really discoverability of grants from all of our federal agencies and other places. That's the challenge.
This feels like an area that AI has tremendous. So all the data is public. It's unstructured and a mess. You stick an AI robot on top of it, gets it structured, make it an answer engine, and start helping create out and fill out all those crazy forms that are from 1970s. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just shared with Saul, there's a company that just got seed funding that's doing actually a really good job. We just piloted with them last week to aggregate this stuff, actually write some early stage proposals, but taking the $20,000 licenses that you actually spend for GovSpend, but bringing access to startups.
It's really fantastic. Great. Thank you, Sal. Any other updates, Sal, for this? Great. I think we're getting close to the end. Let's see who else I missed. We've got events. Kendall Project, is that Brendan, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. Thanks, Paul. So we have several upcoming events. We have a Chief Data Officer workshop on the 18th for CDOs. So if any of you are data professionals, please join us. But we're running an event for agencies in January. And now we've run 12 events this year, and we're happy to announce we have partnerships with Mass Continuing Legal Education and mass MEP in manufacturing. So the problem patterns that we're harvesting keep getting better. And we're looking at delivering a report back to this group at the beginning of the year of the top problem patterns that we're seeing for demand in real industry. So with every workshop, we're not only training executives on how to identify and prioritize AI, but we're also getting problem patterns back. So if you're a CDO, please join us on the 18th. And if you're in a marketing agency of any type, any size, please join us in January, and we can show you how we're using classic industrial techniques to identify and prioritize AI. So it's been an amazing year for us.
That's great. And I think it continues down that whole education aspect that we really see and it's needed out there. Well, this is fabulous. My goal in life is to end every meeting 10 minutes early. We have a chance to end this 15 minutes early, but are there other contributions or highlights or updates or things that people want to share?
Paul, I'm not sure if I missed the event listing on the website, but kudos on the website update. From the AI event in Massachusetts page, since we created it less than a year ago, there's been 350 events added that take place in Massachusetts. So that's just been huge and incredible.
And David, you've been so great at that. And I just want to drive over there, make sure people already said. So if you go to AI,
Paul, I have also one more thing I want to add whenever you have a chance.
you go to AI Blueprint for Massachusetts here, Boston. Yeah, walk us through this, David. Tell folks what this is and how it actually works.
Yeah, so this is really just an iframe from Airtable, but community members add different events that happen. So if you actually scroll down, you can see anything that's taking place in Massachusetts, anything that we're aware of that is AI focused. So this is just everything that's happening in December. So we see a few events actually happening tomorrow over the course of the next few weeks. But we can look at all historical information. Looks like January's not updating, but you can see everything that's happened for the past year or so since this started. But 350 events have happened. I think the last update we shared is that a quarter of all the events have happened at Cambridge Innovation Center, C10 Labs, which is the company I work for, Northeastern or MIT, which is incredible. And that's just kind of what we're seeing in the community too. And a number of folks on this call have either led these events or been huge members. John, I know you've been actively hosting events. Saul AI Tinkers is there at least once a month.
And it's great, David, because so many times I hear, oh, I didn't know about AI Tinkers. I didn't know about that MIT. I didn't know John Warren event here. So, we've got just the last mile. We all have emails. We can know how to use a website. And if people can add stuff, you can just click here and go ahead and add it here. So really fantastic work. And congrats, David and Luke and all the folks in that team here. Go ahead, John Warren, and then we'll finish up.
I'm on the governor's 250 task force, and Massachusetts turned 250. Is going to turn 250 this year. The Boston Tea Party happened 250 years ago. We're a year ahead of schedule of when the whole United States turns 250, and I'm curating talks. I'm going to do some of them at Faneuil Hall, some of them at the Basketball Hall of Fame, and some of them at Mass MoCA, where people talk a little bit about the past 250 years, but I want people to project into the future, next 50, 100, 200, 250 years. And I want to get a lot of people talking about AI and what it means. And these are going to go on these are going to be like a living time capsule going to go on the website. And I have David Rubenstein, I have Doris Kearns Goodwin, I have Samantha Powers, I have some pretty high profile people, but I want to get everyone. I want to get engineers. I want to get people. I want to get teens. I want to get unsuspecting people that have an opinion on this. I want to get 250 talks. And I think other states are going to look at this and maybe do something similar. But at a time when there's a lot of opportunity, also a lot of challenges, people aren't really projecting into the future. And this living time capsule, I think, could be really inspiring. So if any of you would like to participate, or someone, I want to over-index on the power of AI and the power of this region and what it can do with AI. And there's a chance to kind of not talk about what's happened, but dream about what could be and should be and will be because of the talent in this community.
Great. Thank you, John.
Can I add one really, you have to respond to John. Can I just ask one really quick question?
Go ahead, Cara.
Oh, okay, sorry, but no, if you had a thought for John, finish that and then I'll ask my question.
No, I was just saying it's exciting. Yeah,
It is exciting. So I'm just curious, and maybe this is something we could do at the next meeting. I'm curious, like, of the sort of like growth rate of our group. Like everywhere I go, I'm like, hey, do you know about why we're in this blue bracelet? Let me tell you. So like, if you don't have one, ask Paul. So I'm just curious, like how our rate of growth is going and engagement, and just for this particular group. I was just curious. And also, I don't know, John, if maybe you know, but is there any public sort of plans for AI task force in terms of like a reveal or anything, or is it just kind of small private chats at this point? Is there any like big public brouhaha planned of any sort? Oh,
John,
you're
you're
mute,
mute.
John. You're mute.
I mean, next week there is an event where they're going to do some announcing, but this is going to be an ongoing thing. And now that they have the multi-billion-dollar economic development bill and the 100 million earmarked for AI, I'm sure a lot of people are raising their hands, say, "Pick me," or let's find a way to support something. So I think we're entering the next phase of this. And for people who know government, you may be experienced with this. For those who don't, we're in a new phase, but those are the right questions to be asking.
Because what I'm thinking about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry,
Yeah, I
Paul.
mean, Roy did send me an email this morning saying he couldn't attend from the state.
Oh,
He
I
said the
see.
team
Gotcha.
is in
Okay.
the final stages of writing a report. So I think at a
Oh,
minimum,
wonderful.
be a report that comes out of this that captures what
Okay,
they.
cool. Because what another thing our group here could do is we could be an echo chamber. Like we're not linked like in any organizational way, but as the state starts to we have a lot of people here with a lot of reach, so we could start to think about an approach to how do we echo what's happening with that so that we're amplifying all the good work anyway. So just a thought.
Yeah, and no, I think it's great. And I think at least what I've talked to Yvonne and others, amplification is something that it's not a core skill of the government. And I think it's something that we can,
no.
It's amplification and speed. I mean, speed counts right now.
Speed is not what you think of when you think of government process. That is true.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Well, thanks everyone. Fabulous meeting. Let's keep the momentum going and have a happy a new year. I guess we'll talk to everyone next year. It's hard to believe it's December already. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.